Ah, finally, it's here. It's been read. It was up. Let's talk about it, everyone. What's going on, everyone? Back with a brand new video. And it's been a while since I've been on here. I'm back into teaching. I've been very preoccupied with my job. And again, since summer is coming to an end, transitioning into fall, my favorite season of the year, of course. And obviously, with the weekends, there's football and then there's a lot going on. But back again with a new video, and one video I must say that it's very anticipated because we'll dive into the details in a minute. But first, I must give a big shout out to all of you that are subscribing to me, that are subscribed. My viewers, especially if you are a constant viewer of mine, please think about subscribing to my channel. I must give again a big thanks to all my subscribers. I just hit recently the 600 mark for my subscribers. Very excited. Again, I know I wasn't super busy this summer. I know I was uploading, music reaction videos more than book reviews. Again, I am back. Talk about a lot of stuff, but again, I wanted to give you my big thanks because without you, my subscribers, my channel would not have its success that it has today. So hats off to you, my friends. All the love to you, so thank you again. Now, moving on to the nitty-gritty of the video, what we're here to talk about, what you're here to listen to, and that is Stephen King's brand new book, Holly. And like I said, this was a very anticipated read because last year when I saw and I heard that he was coming out with this book, I got very excited because for those who don't know about the Stephen King realm, the universe, the multiverse, the characters he creates, Holly is one of his characters that comes up in, again, books before this book, actually. I'll discuss that in a second, but Holly has become one of his favorite characters, one of his beloved characters that he's really grown to, and again, he's gotten really connected with. So again, he dedicated obviously this whole book to her. She is a PI, a private investigator, and she appears in obviously what's called the Bill Hodges series. And there's Mr. Mercedes, there's Finders Keepers, and then there's End of Watch. So if you have not read the trilogy of that, I highly recommend it because you will be introduced to Miss Holly Gibney. Also, she appears in the novel The Outsiders, and then she also appears in the book If It Bleeds. There's a short story. It's a book of short stories. It's got the rat face on it, which is really cool. Those are all on my shelf behind me, but again, I will pop up the images as well. All of these novels, again, incorporate Holly, and it's just so amazing and excited that she has her very own book now, and let's dive right into the details. Now, like many of my subscribers know, I do not give spoiler alerts, but again, I want to dive right into, again, the details and what is in this book. And again, it was just right from the beginning, I knew it was going to be a great book. And with Stephen King, there's some critics out there that, the newer stuff that comes out, it's not his best work. You can make that debate if you want or not, but again, I was happy. Again, a new Stephen King book is out, and I just wanted to read it and again, dive into it. Again, I finished this in like 2 or 3 days, so I was binge reading it as much as I could. Now, like I mentioned, Holly is the main character in the story, but we start off obviously, kind of with the prologue that doesn't really go into Holly. Stephen King is very good with creating his characters, and then in Holly, his two antagonists are introduced right to the beginning. So I am not giving away anything with this because you get introduced to the two villains right off the bat. But again, I'm not going to be giving you the details of what they do and how they do it. It's just right when you get to that end, it's just, brilliant, but it's very, very morbid. Like I mentioned, the second book in the Bill Hodges series is called Finders Keepers. Finders Keepers is the headquarters or the company that Holly works from and then she created. So her partner name is Pete, and now Pete is out with COVID. So Stephen King wrote this book in the era of when COVID first was coming out. So the pandemic is taken over in a way. So Holly is kind of on her own. So she has a customer that leaves many messages on her answer machine or phone. Her name is Penny Doll. Penny is reaching out to Holly because her daughter is missing, and she knows that Holly has a really good reputation of finding and stuff, because once you read the Bill Hodges series, you're gonna realize as a young PI she has become very talented and very smart and witty. Penny's daughter is named Bonnie. Blocks away from the Bonnie disappearance, there are the two antagonists. Now these two antagonists are a couple. I'm only gonna say that and I'm not gonna say any more. Their names are Rodney and Emily Harris. It's gonna be really interesting if you have read it or you are planning to read it. You're gonna dive into these two antagonists, these two villains that Stephen King has created, and it's just amazing all the way through. By the way, the two antagonists that are in this book, Stephen King was kind of influenced because, a lot as a writer, they're very influenced by, outside and true events. In his author's note at the end, he mentions why he wrote this book and why he chose the characters he chose. It is absolutely amazing. Now, I listen to Audible, so I listened to him actually narrate the author's note. Anyways, back to Holly. Now, the side note, away from the antagonists, the two villains of Emily and Rodney Harris, Holly is going through a tough time. Her mother mother just passed away from COVID, and she's one of those characters that is like kind of like a procrastinator in a way, but she's also kind of diving into the realism and the true nature of COVID-19. In the midst of all this chaos and, you know, just stuff that's stressing her out, she's trying to find Bonnie Doll, Penny's daughter, and all this is coming together. Partner's out with COVID, her mother just passed away, so again, she's really on the edge of her seat trying to do this, but again, she's like chain smoking like a chimney. It's just great what Stephen King wrote, because everything he does in his books, especially for being a very big Stephen King fan, my favorite author, he creates, you know, the realism of you're in the situation, and as he gradually gets to the climax and the fall in action, you are realizing that you are in one hell of a ride, and this book is exactly that. Without a doubt, I give Holly 5 stars. It is an amazing book all the way through, and again, I don't want to give any of the true details away because I don't want to spoil anything for you, especially if you plan on reading it. I've seen on Bookstagram there are tons of people, and I mean tons, especially when the book first came out. A lot of people were posting it, and I literally posted it the day after everyone was doing it. So awesome to see that a whole bunch of people have gotten this novel, are diving into it, and it's one that's a true thriller. Holly is such a great character to read about, and what Stephen King does at the end with these two antagonists, these two villains, you'll never see it coming. I didn't see it coming. It gives you little snippets here and there. I will say, true action for me started around page 250, 275, around there. Again, it's a over 400 page book, so not too long, so you definitely gotta go check it out. Now, like I mentioned, Stephen King is my all-time favorite author, and I really hope that he can actually release more books, because obviously he is, what, 76, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but he is getting up there in age, and I want him to keep continuing. I'm still trying to get my collection going. As you can see behind me, a lot of my friends, especially my one friend, shout out to Autumn, she has really helped me this summer get my Stephen King collection up to task and up to date. Again, I still have a very handful of books I still need to get from Stephen King. I'm currently working on the big collection. By next summer, I probably am gonna have to get another one of these shelves. Now you tell me, would it be hard to ask that Stephen King writes maybe, I don't know, at least 5, maybe 10 more books? Is that too much? I mean, I'm thinking right now, he's probably already planning up his new book because, you know, being a full-time author the way he is, since he's been writing since, what, the 60s, 70s, whatever you want to call it, I'm sure he's keeping himself busy. Before I leave, my friends, and again, thank you all for who subscribed, continue to subscribing and viewing my channel. I want to mention that I will be in Ohio, specifically Avon, Ohio, September 24th. 1 to 5 p.m. at the North Coast Indie Books Expo at the Emerald Event Center. Again, if you are in the area and you want to meet me or get a signed copy of my book or buy a book, I will be there. So spread the word, spread it on your social media if you can about that. I will leave more info in the link in the description below. Again, if you have any questions, please just comment in the comments below. I will be happy to reach out and answer back to you. Or if you want to message me and direct message me on Instagram, you can do that as well. All right, everyone, that is it. Thank you for stopping by. Now remember, Stephen King's Holly. Go out and get it, especially if you are a huge Stephen King fan. Oh, and there's a little snippet about this. This book, just the US cover, glows in the dark. Mind blown. Yes, it is true. Ask anyone who's known it. Ask anyone that knows about it. So go out, get the American version. The US and the UK copies are both looking very cool. I would love to get a UK copy, but yes, this is the one that glows in the dark. It's just a beautiful cover. I just love the whole thing. So go out and get it if you haven't already. And like I always say, my friends, I know it's been a while, but please read your book cover to cover. We'll see y'all later.